Chapter 13. Bearded Dragon and Tattoo opened a valve and swung a large pipe over toward Max and Duke. All the flushed pets pushed Max and Duke toward the pipe. Everyone stared into the pipe, eager for the Viper to emerge. Max and Duke weren't quite so eager. In fact, they weren't eager at all. They didn't want to find out who or what the Viper was. Max cried. Is this Viper poisonous? Because I should warn you, I'm very allergic to poison. Meanwhile, on the roof of Max's building, Gidget paced nervously, waiting for Tiberius to come back from his search for her missing secret crush. Oh, Max, she said, please be okay. She spotted Tiberius flying toward the roof, and he was carrying something in his mouth. Max, she said hopefully, but it didn't look like Max. Whump! Tiberius landed and tossed a cat toward Gidget's feet. It was the ugliest cat she had ever seen. She didn't know it, but it was Ozone, the ugly hairless cat Max had met in the alley before the animal control officers got him. All right, show her, Tiberius ordered. Ozone coughed up a dog collar. It was blue with a name tag shaped like a bone. Max's collar, Gidget squealed. She didn't need to see that the tag read Max. Where is he? What happened to him? I ain't saying nothing, Ozone hissed defiantly. Tiberius grabbed Ozone and dangled him over the edge of the roof. You're going to tell us where Max is, and you're going to tell us now. Is this supposed to scare me? Ozone sneered. I'm a cat. I land on my feet. Always? Tiberius asked. Because your head looks like it's taken a lot of hard landings. Do you want me to cut you? Ozone challenged. 'Cause I'll cut you this way and that. You'll look like a waffle. Tiberius yanked the cat back onto the roof. Okay. He's too stupid to talk and too ugly to eat. Gidget was furious. She couldn't contain her anger anymore. She jumped on Ozone. The cat yowled. Ow! I'm done playing nice, Gidget barked. Where is Max? What? Gidget smacked the ugly cat. Whack! Tell me! She snarled, smacking him again and again. Whack, whack, whack! Help me! Ozone pleaded to Tiberius, who was amazed at how fierce the little dog had become. Gidget smacked Ozone again. Whack! She spoke in a furious, deep voice. Don't look at him. Look at me. Nobody can help you. Where is Max? Okay, Ozone surrendered. He's in the sewers. He got taken. Please have mercy, adorable fluffy dog. Down in the shadowy underbelly, the flushed pets moved the pipe closer to Max and Duke, chanting, Snake bite, snake bite. They stopped when the pipe was right in front of the two dogs, who stared into it, terrified. The inside of the pipe was too dark for them to make anything out. Maybe the Viper isn't there, Max thought hopefully. Maybe it had gone on vacation, permanently. As proof of your allegiance, Snowball said, you will now receive the bite of a one-fanged, half-blind viper that's been living in the sewers for 50 years, fueled by the diet of anti-human rage. An enormous viper slithered out of the pipe, hissing. He opened his mouth to show Max and Duke his single, long, sharp fang. Who wants to go first? Snowball asked. Okay, here's the thing, though, Max said nervously. Okay, first of all, I'm totally excited to get this bite. I'm super fired up, but I just gotta say, as far as marks of loyalty go, I can't help but think that a snake bite is a little cliched. Snowball frowned. Cliched? Max nodded. Yeah, I mean, like, I've seen it. It's a little on the nose. Snowball got closer to Max. Tiny dog. Can I call you Tiny Dog? It fits you. Let's admit that. Look, between you and the fat dog, I like you the best. Oh, thank you. Tiny Dog's gonna go first. Snowball turned to the crowd of flushed pets. Everybody, TD's going first. The flushed pets cheered and pushed Max toward the Viper. No, 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 Max cried. Tiny Dog doesn't want to go first. Take the fat dog. Ah! Snake bite, snake bite, snake bite. The flushed pets chanted. The crowd held Max up and pushed him toward the huge snake. No, 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 pleaded Max. Stop, shouted a voice. The Viper stopped. Max smiled with relief. Everybody turned to see Nitro and the other alley cats. Max's smile faded. Chapter 14. What are you doing initiating a couple of domestics? Nitro demanded. Domestics? Snowball asked, shocked. Max wriggled free of the flushed pet's grasp and hid underneath Duke's shaggy stomach. We just jumped those two in the alley, Nitro explained. Slashed off their collars. No, that's not true, Snowball said. He turned to Max and Duke. You said you burned your collars. Well, burned, lost, we had them stolen by cats. It's all just words, isn't it really? Max suggested weakly. Snowball's expression turned stern. You don't deserve to be marked by the Viper. Max pretended to be disappointed. Oh, no. We'll just show ourselves out, Duke said. You deserve to be eaten by the Viper, Snowball shouted. Get those leash lovers. The flush pets all charged at Max and Duke. Duke spotted the Viper's tail. Just as the angry animals tackled Duke, he bit down on the gigantic serpent's tail and swung the Viper around wildly, knocking the flushed pets away, including Snowball. Go get him, Duke, Max cheered. Duke let go of the tail and the Viper flew through the air, ending up wrapped around a pole. The enraged serpent lunged at Max but couldn't reach him. As he kept lunging at Max, the Viper pulled the pole away from the ceiling. Chunks of debris rained down, burying the Viper. The flushed pets gasped. But the Viper slithered out from under the pile of rubble, heading straight toward Max. Before the snake reached him, more debris fell from the ceiling, landing on top of the serpent. Then a huge concrete slab slammed down on the serpent and burst into flames. All the flushed pets, staring at the burning rubble, hardly able to believe what they'd just seen. Fellas, that was an accident, Max said feebly. Snowball stepped forward, very upset. You killed the sacred Viper. Oh, Viper, you in a better place. You and Ricky. You ain't never did nothing to nobody. Well, you bit a lot of people. Viper, so technically, you might actually deserve this. This might be something that was long overdue, but it shouldn't have come like this. Not on my watch. Wiping away his tears, Snowball turned to the flushed pets. Then he pointed accusingly at Max and Duke. Get 'em! The flushed pets stampeded toward Max and Duke. Come on, Max urged Duke. He grabbed the smaller dog and carried him through the sewer. They entered the long tunnel. Duke dropped Max and ran ahead. On his shorter legs, Max had trouble keeping up with the big brown dog. Wait up, Duke, Max said behind them. He could hear the angry shouts of the flushed pets. He called back to them. We're sorry. Can this be over now? But the shouts were still angry. Max turned and ran, following Duke, looking back toward their pursuers, again to check how close they'd gotten. Max slammed right into Duke's big, shaggy, brown body. We've got a problem, Duke said. We have so many problems, Max wailed. Which one do you mean at this moment? Max stepped aside, revealing that the tunnel had led them to a huge drop. 100 feet below, an underground river of sewage rushed by. They could hear the roar of the churning sludge, and behind them, the furious pets were coming fast. Chapter 15. The flushed pets raged forward, blaring their fangs and claws, and in some cases, cute little whiskers. Snowball yelled at Max and Duke. "Stop running, dummies! Stop it right now!" Max got into a fighting stance, ready to take on the fierce, flushed pets as best he could. But he knew he was hopelessly outnumbered. He looked back and forth between the angry creatures and Max. Then he made a decision. "Hold your breath," he told Max. "Hold my breath?" Max asked, confused. Bump! Duke knocked Max off the ledge, sending him over the precipice. He jumped after him, and they both fell screaming, "Ah!" Sploosh! After a long fall, they both splashed into the gross, rushing river of sewage. Snowball leaned over the edge, far above them, watching them being swept away in the muck and sludge. The bunny growled. He and the flushed pets didn't dare leap after the two fugitives. It was too far a drop, and Snowball wasn't fond of swimming. They turned around and ran back up the tunnel, heading for another route, down to the level of the sewage river. Max and Duke struggled to keep their heads above the sludge. "This is my least favorite part of the whole thing so far," Max cried. Now that she knew Max had been taken down into the sewers, Gidget figured she'd need help rescuing her beloved. So she called a meeting of the pets in the building. Mel, Buddy, Cleo, Sweet Pea, and a trembling Chihuahua were all there. Gidget climbed up to the doors and shelves of the cabinet. When she reached the top, she addressed her fellow pets. "Friends, I am afraid that we have some terrible news." Mel nodded. "The squirrels are going to take over the world. I knew it. I always said squirrels are shifty little guys." Gidget shook her head. "No, we're not doing the squirrel thing right now. That's not it. Max is missing. He's out there somewhere, lost, scared, and so handsome. We've got to find him and bring him home." Mel looked doubtful. "But the outside world is loud and scary." Just then, Tiberius flew in through the open window. Mel gulped. "Is that a hawk?" "This is my friend Tiberius," Gidget explained. "He's going to help us. He's not going to eat us. We've already been over that." Buddy had serious doubts about Gidget's idea to go out and rescue Mac. "Come on, Gidget. We go out there without a leash, we'll get caught by the net or something worse." "Yeah, like a hawk," Mel said, putting Buddy between himself and the bird. Tiberius frowned. "We're wasting time," Gidget snapped preciously. "Max needs us." Buddy grinned. He knew all about Gidget's crush on Max. "Come on, girl. Max doesn't even know you're alive." For a second, Gidget was thrown. Could Buddy be right? Did Max not care for her at all? But then she shook off her doubts. "I don't care. I love him. I love him with all my heart, so I'm going to look for Max, no matter who's with me. So, who's with me?" Silence. The shivering Chihuahua walked away on its little trembling legs. Cleo was lounging in a glass bowl on top of the table. "Oh, come on, guys. I can't believe you." The dogs looked up at Cleo. She seemed like the last pet who would lift a paw to help anyone. "When I got stuck under that bed, who helped pull me out?" Cleo demanded. "Max did." Gidget smiled. The dogs chuckled, remembering how funny Cleo looked when she was stuck, and how she'd come out covered in dust and lint. "Buddy, Mel," Cleo said, "when you were fixed, who taught you to sit the comfortable way?" "Max did," Buddy admitted. "Max did." Mel agreed enthusiastically. "Max did. He did it." "And when that random cat tried to eat Sweet Pea," Cleo asked, "who saved him?" "It wasn't a random cat," Buddy pointed out. "It was you." The identity of the random cat is not the point, Cleo interrupted. We're talking about who saved Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea chirped. Then he glared at Cleo. Max did, Mel shouted, excited to know the answer. He wasn't really used to knowing the answers to questions. We gotta save him, Buddy said, suddenly feeling the moment that was happening in the room. We gotta go save Max. Norman, the lost guinea pig, popped up through the floor vent. Yeah, let's go save Max. Which one is Max again? Swoop. Tiberius rocketed down and grabbed Norman. Tiberius, Gidget shouted. No, bad bird. Tiberius patted Norman on the head with his wing. Nice little guy. He kept patting the hamster, repeating, nice little guy. Norman giggled nervously. Hey, I like this bird. Crazy bird. Chapter 16. In the underground river of sewage, Max and Duke were swept downstream toward a swirling whirlpool. Swoosh. First Duke, then Max were yanked under the surface by a powerful suction of the whirlpool. Sucked into a long, curving pipe, the two dogs rocketed through the tube's twists and turns until they shot out and flew through the air screaming, ah, splash! They landed in the East River, plunging deep into the cold water. Struggling, they swam to the surface, panting and terrified. We gotta get to shore, Duke sputtered. I only know the doggy paddle, Max cried, and I don't know it very well. Swim, tiny dog, swim, Duke encouraged. But Max kept slipping under the water, too tired to swim. Duke spotted a passing ferry boat and swam toward it, urging Max to follow him. When he reached the ferry, he hauled himself up the steps on the back of the boat. Duke, help! Max cried, still floundering in the water. Duke tossed Max a life ring, holding onto the rope tied to it. Max, grab the ring! Max bobbled the ring. I can't! Keep it up, Max, Duke yelled. You're doing, well, you're not doing great, but you're not drowning, and that's something. Max strained to hold onto the life ring, but slipped under the water. Then, with a mighty effort, he popped above the surface and bit the ring with his teeth. You're almost there, Duke cried. He nearly lost the rope when he opened his mouth, but he managed to grab it just in time and haul Max up into the boat. With his chest heaving, Max stood on the back steps of the ferry, sopping wet. He and Duke shook the water out of their fur. That was close, Max, Duke said. Finally, Max gulped, still breathing hard. I'm going home. But as they watched the skyline of Manhattan, it got smaller and smaller. The boat was headed to Brooklyn. Isn't home that way? Duke asked, pointing behind them. Max's head drooped. Oh, seriously. Back on shore, the flushed pets slipped down a pipe toward the river. But when they reached the end, plump, they slammed into a grate, piling up on one another. Snowball grabbed the bars of the grate and pulled on them. Rah! But the strong metal bars wouldn't budge for the furious bunny. He saw Max and Duke riding across the river on the ferry. They're going to Brooklyn, he yelled. They say everyone's going to Brooklyn these days, Tattoo observed. It's making a real comeback. I'm not talking about hipster real estate trends, Snowball fumed. I'm talking about vengeance, Tattoo. Death is coming to Brooklyn, and it's got buck teeth and a cottontail.